Have you ever poured your heart into creating the perfect service or product, only to be met with crickets when you try to sell it? You've done your research. You know people need what you offer, but somehow you just can't seem to get traction. Here's a perspective shift that might change everything. It may not be that your product, your service, or your idea is bad. You just might be going about it in the wrong way. Today I'm going to share a story about a fruit vendor that perfectly illustrates this principle. And then we'll explore how you can apply this insight to transform your consulting business. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to pivot your delivery method without changing your core offering, potentially turning client resistance into enthusiastic buy-in. A few months ago, a fruit salesman started parking his truck at the entrance of my building. Instead of quietly setting up shop, he put a megaphone on replay that continuously listed all the fruits he had available. Over and over again, it would blare, avocado, melon, papaya, bananas, avocado, melon, papaya, bananas. You get the point. This went on for over half an hour at a time. It was so loud I couldn't concentrate. It completely interrupted my work. This continued for several days, and I noticed my productivity was plummeting every time he arrived. Finally, I had enough, so I went downstairs and I approached him. I said, "Look, you and I need to talk. Please turn off your recording for a moment." And I asked him a simple question. Why have you been parking here and playing your recording? What are you trying to achieve? And he said, "Well, there's 3 big buildings here. I can attract a ton of clients to buy my fruit." And I asked him how sales were going, and he admitted, well, not so great. Things can get really interesting when you get somebody else's perspective. So I asked if I could suggest another approach. "I'm going to be honest with you," I told him. "In our WhatsApp group for this building, everyone hates you. Sorry to break it to you, but we have elderly people here who take naps during the day, and you wake them up. We have people with young kids who are putting them down for naps, and you wake them up. And then we have people like me who work from home, and you interrupt our meetings with your recording. It's not that we don't want your fruit. It's the way that you're selling it that's interruptive for us." Then I offered him an alternative strategy. I said, well, what if instead you just showed up at the same time every day without the recording? Everyone would know that at 10 in the morning you'll be here with a truckload of fresh fruit. What if you're so consistent that we know we can count on you? What if you give us your WhatsApp contact and we can even send you our list so that you make sure that you're bringing everything we need? Maybe you could even bring it already weighed out and just drop it off. In fact, if you work that way, I wouldn't just buy 1 bag of fruit. I'd have you drop another bag at my mother-in-law's house on the way home. I'd buy 2 bags. This is exactly the kind of perspective shift that can transform a struggling business. The fruit vendor wasn't offering the wrong product. People need and want fresh fruit. His problem was entirely in the delivery method. He was creating friction and resistance with his approach, even though his underlying offering was valuable. So how do we make this relevant for consultants? Maybe you're out there trying to sell information products, a digital course, a subscription service, or a workshop. Maybe you're trying to sell an accounting overhaul or some other specialized service. Whatever it is you're trying to sell might be exactly what your clients need, but not delivered in the way they want it. Maybe they don't want a workshop. Maybe they need group coaching for their entire C-level staff. Maybe they don't want your accounting optimization program, like a monthly service. Maybe they'd rather have you come in and do a one-time efficiency audit. When we build our products and services, it's crucial to understand how people want them delivered. Do they want a workshop? How much time do they have to get their problem solved? Is it something they want to address in a day or a weekend? Is it something they want to solve over 3 months? You could come up with a version of your offering for each scenario. Obviously, the level of results will depend on the format and the level of commitments clients can invest. Let me illustrate with another scenario. If you specialize in facilitating transitions post-acquisition to new business cultures, an all-hands facilitation for a company could be an hour-long session that makes a major shift for the entire organization. Doing the same type of work in smaller, more focused groups might get an even better result, but it would take longer. So the question becomes, what specifically does your client want to solve, and what are the ways you can deliver it that makes sense for them and is workable for you? Let me give you a personal example. When I had my first business, which eventually became financially unsustainable, I was selling reports, an information product. After closing that business, and I started a second one, I realized something profound. People wanted the exact same information, but packaged differently. They wanted it delivered in advisory sessions. They wanted the story told to them in 60 minutes without having to read a single word. They wanted to be able to ask questions. And here's the kicker. They were willing to pay much, much more for this format than they were willing to pay for an information product that they had to read themselves. The content was essentially the same. The value was much greater because the delivery method made all the difference. They were busy executives. I had a friend once who was trying to sell financial literacy workshops to corporate clients. She kept getting rejected, despite excellent content. So I dug deeper with her, and we discovered that companies didn't want to pull their employees away for full-day sessions. We repackaged her content into 30-minute lunch and learns. There were modules that were delivered over several weeks, and suddenly the companies that had been telling her no were signing up. The same expertise, different delivery. So here's what I want you to do. Define what product or service package you're currently selling. What's the outcome it delivers? Now, what are different ways it could be delivered? For example, could your 6-week course be condensed into an intensive weekend retreat? Could your 1-hour coaching be expanded into group sessions? Could your comprehensive report be transformed into a series of advisory calls? Could your in-person workshop become a digital course with live Q&A sessions? Then reach out to your potential clients or some clients you've worked with in the past and simply ask them which delivery methods make the most sense for them. Let them tell you. Let your clients guide you toward the right ways to deliver your expertise. When you do this, you avoid becoming that obnoxious fruit vendor with the avocado, melon, papaya, bananas recording that disturbed the entire neighborhood, even though he had exactly what people wanted and needed. Remember, sometimes the difference between failure and success isn't your offering. It's how you're offering it. The good news is that adjusting your delivery method is much easier than creating an entirely new service or product. Be willing to be flexible. Be willing to listen. And most importantly, be willing to package your expertise in whatever format makes it most accessible and valuable to your clients. Because at the end of the day, your success isn't about what you know or what you can do. It's about how effectively you can transfer that value to others in a way that works for them. I'm Melissa Marchand, helping accomplished professionals build consulting businesses they love. If you know someone who wants to connect with new clients, please share this episode.